Okay, we're here. Hi, everybody. My name is Bill Ward, and you are listening to Rock 50. I'm here with my host, Mike Stark. Shout out, Mike.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays. Yes, happy holidays, everybody. This is indeed our Christmas show, where we're going to be playing a lot of metal. We got a great show lined up actually today. We've got for our Christmas show. We've got some Beatles songs, which are great all the time. Always Christmas Beatles. And we've got a totally hardcore setup of metal for the next hour. And we've also got a drum segue with an unbelievable drummer this month, with an unbelievable band. It's going to be Charlie Watts that we're featuring, and of course with the Rolling Stones. So we got a lot of really good stuff to get to today. It's time to come on to something very, very special. Everybody's in the studio today. They're very excited. They're very excited about this. Not saying that what we've already had today has been very, very special already. We're featuring today a brilliant drummer who's been making a lot of people happy with his drumming for how many decades? Anybody know? Do you know, Mike? Oh, I didn't catch that. I'm getting all kinds of different hand signals, and I can't understand one of them. No, so we're not going to go down the decade street. Charlie Watts has been making us very happy for a long, long time. I think since 1962 when they made their first record, something like that. Charlie Watts, for those who don't know, is the drummer with the incredible backbeat for the Rolling Stones. And we're going to feature some Stones songs today. And we're also going to feature just one track from Charlie's other bands that he works in. Charlie's a jazz drummer also. He was very well embedded in rhythm and blues, as well as the music of the Rolling Stones. And so we're going to be playing just one track from Charlie's, from one of Charlie's bands that he works with outside of the Rolling Stones. Let me read you a little bit about Charlie Watts. Charlie was born on the 2nd of June 1941. He's an English drummer, and as already stated, he is a member of the Rolling Stones. He's also the leader of a jazz band, a record producer, commercial artist, and he's also a horse breeder. What do you know about that? All right, well done, Charlie. In early life, Charles Robert Charlie Watts was born to Charles Watts and a lorry driver for a precursor of British Rail, and his wife Lillian at University College Hospital, London, and raised along with his sister Linda. In Kingsbury, he attended Tyler's Crofts Secondary Modern School from 1952 to 1956. As a schoolboy, he displayed a talent for art, cricket and football. Now I'm going to add my part in. He's also a really good darts player, because on multiple occasions I played darts with Charlie when Sabbath were making records down at Morgan Studios in London, and Charlie would pop in, and Ronnie would pop in as well, and we'd all have a darts tournament together. So to add to the cricket and football, he's also a good darts player, and often won me when we were playing darts. So that's something nobody knew. As a child, Charlie lived in Wembley at 23 Pilgrims Way, and during World War II, the Germans came along and remodelled his house as well, as they did mine, as a matter of fact. And anyway, Charlie ended up living in a prefabricated home, as did many of the community and many Londoners and back in the day. When Charlie lived next door neighbour was a guy called Dave Green, and he went on to be a jazz bass player. And Green and Watts got together, and they remain friends still today. But Green recalls that as boys we discovered 78 RPM records Charlie had more records than I did. We used to go to Charlie's bedroom and just go over these records out of Watt's earliest records were jazz recordings. He remembers owning 78 RPM records of Jelly Roll Morton, Mike, and Charlie Parker. We all know Charlie Parker. Green recalls that Watts also had the one with Monk and Johnny Dodge trio. Charlie was ahead of me in listening and acquisitions. When Watts and Green were both about 13, Watts became interested in drumming. I'll read you this, and then we're going to move on to the music. There are some really interesting things there. But Charlie, I bought a banjo. I didn't like the dots on the neck, so I took the neck off. And at that same time, I heard a drummer called Chico Hamilton, who played with Jerry Mulligan, and I wanted to play like that with brushes. And I didn't have a snare drum, so I put the banjo head on the stand. That's so cool. That's so cool, man. Green and Watts began their musical careers together from 1958, 1959, playing in a jazz band in Middlesex called the Joe Jones All-Stars. And Watts initially found his transition to rhythm and blues puzzling, commenting, I went into rhythm and blues. When they asked me to play, I didn't know what it was. I thought it meant Charlie Parker played slow. That just cracks me up, man. That's so cool. God, I could read this, but I know we've got an audience out there that's waiting to hear the Stones. So, but anyway, that's a little bit about Charlie. He's just a really fine guy, brilliant drummer, and we're going to kick off with a song, and obviously the great title. This is from an album called the ABC and D of Boogie Woogie, and Charlie and friends. They I believe they came up with the title. Here's more sympathy for the drummer, and here we go. It's Charlie Watts playing with his friends. More sympathy for the drummer. Yes. The Rolling Stones band, of course, and you've just been listening to the Rolling Stones featuring Charlie Watts. It's part of our drum segue that we do each month for Rock 50. And wow, so where are you?
What a wonderful, joyous holiday spectacular that was.
That wasn't bad, was it?
That's not bad at all.
Man, the Stones are just such a good band. And we had everybody rocking around the table as well today. Lisa's here, and I know the Rolling Stones are definitely one of her favourite bands, so to say the least. And so, Merry Christmas, everybody.
Yeah.
God, you could listen to Charlie all day, really. You really can. He's just so, he's got so much texture and detail and embroidery, and he's just everywhere. He's just great sounds, so well recorded. I just admire him so much. I totally respect him as a drummer. He's incredible. Let me go over what we played, okay? We did actually start with More Sympathy for the Drummer. Now that was a band which actually I don't actually have the name, but I'm going to go over the musicians that played in it. The track was it's from an album called the ABC of Boogie Woogie, and that's one of Charlie's side things that he does, or I don't know whether side is the right word, but it's one of the bands he plays in. They play jazz and rhythm and blues. But I want to go through the musicians that he was playing with. Alex Swingberger was on piano, Ben Waters was on piano, and Charlie's old friend Dave Green was playing bass. So that was who was on that first track. And then we played Brown Sugar, Gimme Shelter, Moonlight Mile, Mixed Emotions, It's Only Rock and Roll, and Can't You Hear Me Knocking. So from us at Rock 50 and from me personally, thanks, Charlie, for your amazing drummer. You're amazing drummer and you're amazing drumming. Thank you so much. On a sad note, the sax player that you heard on actually that very last track and on Brown Sugar and somewhere in between, his name was Bobby Keys. Now, Bobby died on December the 2nd, 2014. So a long-time sax player with the Rolling Stones. Bobby played with a lot of other guys as well, a lot of other musicians starting out in Texas in the early days. So we want to extend our condolences to Bobby's family and those who loved him. Also, sadly, again, Ian McLaughlin, who was the Small Faces original keyboard player and who also played with the Rolling Stones in the early 80s, played keyboard in the early 80s. Sadly, Ian died on December the 3rd, 2014, one day after Bobby died. So Ian was 69 when he passed away. And anyway, we want to wish Ian's family as well all the very best. And our condolences go to you and to all those that loved Ian. Okay, so we've done that, and thank you, guys. Thank you, Bobby, for everything that you contributed to music, which was so much, and thank you also to Ian, who contributed so much to music. He was just a major player, no doubt about it. Okay, it's time to play some songs from the Beatles, and as a way of saying Merry Christmas to everybody out there. I hope so far, if you're still with us or if you're out there and you're enjoying the show, I hope you've liked what we've played so far. We're going to play a couple of things. We do this every Christmas, and we usually start off with George and playing one of the best songs I've ever heard in my life, Run of the Mill. It takes a drummer to finish a show, you know what I mean? Actually, it's the penultimate. We've still got one of our favourite guys coming up. But that was Ringo, of course, singing incredibly well with the Beatles, the Goodnight song from the White Album. We heard Run of the Mill, George Harrison, Jenny Wren, Paul, Happy Christmas, War is Over, and Give Peace a Chance, John Lennon with his wife Yoko. And I was reflecting earlier, just when I was putting the show together earlier this week, those songs are so endearing. Especially, I'm talking about. I'm not talking. I mean, all of the songs are endearing, but John's "Give Peace a Chance" and "War is Over," "Merry Christmas," they're so endearing. They're so vital and really important. And somehow I felt a little bit distanced, being in the current circumstances. I think we all are. In terms of there is so much violence and so much really uncomfortable stuff and really murderous stuff that's going on in our world today. And I was listening to the songs when I was preparing the show, and I thought just how wonderful that was. It's the same statement, because back then it was the same statement, and it's the same statement today that John's making. Even though John died on December the 8th. He was murdered on December the 8th, 1980. That's 34 years ago. So that's 34 years ago, and the statement still holds true. He made the statement before he died, a number of years before he died. And so it'll remain forever with us in our hearts. But I hope that can come through a little bit in today's conscience. If anybody's listening to the show and they like that, I hope it can pierce through inside what I can only consider to be absolute madness in our world for the most part today. So anyway, didn't want to end on that note, but I guess I went down that street. So it's Christmas, but you know what? A lot of people hurting, man. It's Christmas, So we've always done Christmas, Mike, With our Christmas show's never been about ho, ho, ho. It's been about how. It's never been about, jolly, merry, blah, 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 blah. It's been about, hey, how you doing? Are you going to be able to manage this Christmas? Have you got any money? Have you got any food? So anyway. I want to thank everybody out there that's been listening today. Love your children. And I want to do a shout out, first of all, to my grandchildren and then to all the grandchildren in the world today. And wish you all a very Merry Christmas. I want to do a shout out. I want to thank you, first of all, Mike, for another year of absolute fucking renegade stuff, man.
It's been great, man.
We are on the castle turrets. We are flying the flag for metal and music. I want to thank Lisa, as always. And I especially want to thank Lisa for today's special with Charlie Watts, because she played a big part in that. I want to do a shout out for Jones. As you know, for those of you who know, Gopher died in June. We're still doing a shout out for him. He's in eternity, but you know what? We still love him. I want to say a big shout out to Monty. I want to say a shout out to Lamute. I'll be in touch with you soon, John. And then want to say hello to Bird, everybody in Europe, everybody in the UK, everybody across the world. We just want to send our best to everybody that's listening in. Stay safe, stay strong, happy holidays. This, when my wife and we lost our baby, his name was Bram, and this has been a few years now. But this song, when we came home after losing the baby, we sat down and I put this record on because we were so was absolutely devastated that we'd lost the baby. And I on a personal level, I call it Bram's song. It's actually called Nessun Dorma, and it's something we play every Christmas for everybody in the world, no matter what. And it's by a brilliant singer, Luciano Pavarotti. That's it.